So, market open this morning. Games Workshop released their annual report, or for the last 6 months, up until the period of the start of December. Straight after they released the results, as market opened, the share price took a very big dip, and it did end up quite considerably down by the end of the day. Obviously, quite a few people are quite concerned by that. You see this huge dip straight after earnings report, and it is very concerning. So I just wanted to kind of go through quickly what was in that earnings report, why it might be a concern, what may have caused people to sell off, and what I still think of the company and the direction I still think it's going in. So first of all, obviously, the cause for concern, what may have caused the sell-off is, first of all, obviously, earnings report comes out, a lot of people close and take their profits. So there is that. The second thing is the fact that obviously Games Workshop has had a very steep trajectory as far as earnings reports go. It's been growing its sales phenomenally fast, and that is starting to slow down. There are also a few things with regards to royalties where they've had big bumps in the past, and maybe this period maybe wasn't quite as high. Again, not something that I'm overly concerned about, but this could be some of the contributing factors. Obviously, there's a lot of growth already built into the price of Games Workshop, and that's a concern going forwards, that obviously we do need quite a considerable growth in sales and in profits to reach that price market, the price range that we're at now. So obviously that's a potential reason why there was such a sell-off today. Having looked at the data though, looking at the company, looking at the fans, looking at the way that the company is moving forward, we're still seeing a lot of growth. Obviously with the profit, the underlying profits as well, if you look at that, sales growth has slowed down, but it almost seems that like the in some respects 50% extra sales that have gone in on last year, almost all of it seems to be entirely profit. So we are looking at considerable extra funds coming into the business. So definitely very positive in that regard. And as far as growth goes with royalties, there's a very good reason that the dip, the global pandemic, may have been interacted there. Although we still had computer games released, I can imagine that there was probably a lot less conversations happening about new games being released and signed up for. So there's a potential that that could have slowed down a lot of those elements. So purely from that financial side, that's the way I'm kind of reading into it. They've got their warehouse in the US that is very close to being almost finished and ready to kind of full capacity. They're just kind of building up to that now. And their UK one as well is also in that kind of final stages as well. Then we've got the whole Brexit issue, and they've made a lot of steps. Obviously, they've been preparing for Brexit for a very long time, and I do believe that they are very well equipped to deal with Brexit, so I don't think we'll have any issues there. Then moving on to the expansion of the hobby, and we're looking at China, and we're seeing significant growth throughout the Chinese market, which obviously is fantastic, and they are really focusing on meeting that market in China itself. So that element seems to be doing quite well. The TV series that they're working on, sorry, a live action series that they're working on, that seems to be delayed slightly. Kind of seems to be a bit of an ongoing thing. I don't think anyone's really kind of got an expected date for this. I think it's just going to get here when it gets here. it's a bit of a shame because obviously I think there is the potential that that could be quite a great catalyst for bringing Games Workshop forward out to the masses a lot more than it is. Moving over to the hobby itself, they've obviously had a huge amount of success with the release of the 40,000 boxed game, which obviously we spoke about in the last video, and selling that out internationally as well. That's really kind of pushed the boundaries forward, and they're meeting a whole load of new customers, which is great. The existing fantasy games as well are obviously progressing nicely, and the new development of the old fantasy world that they destroyed as such to kind of vamp it seems to be getting a lot of excitement. There's definitely a lot of interest in that moving forward, so where they kind of choose to take that will be very interesting to see. That is something that we're going to be talking about in another couple of years, really. So that we're probably not going to see an impact on that for the share price for a little while now. Then we're moving on to the computer game side of things. We've got developments coming on with the computer games, and I'm fairly certain that we're going to see the next Total War game, that's version 3, coming out this year. There's not been any announcements, but I'm definitely expecting it to be coming out this year. And obviously once that does, we'll see another huge amount of royalties coming in. So there is definitely a potential for a good upside this year with regards to that. They are also doing a mobile game, which does seem to be very much focused in China. It'll be globally available, but it definitely seems to be it's being developed by a Chinese company. And if it's going to be able to really kind of build the company's reputation and to get them out to customers in China, then that's obviously a fantastic thing with regards to seeing the company grow. So there's that, and I think that's all there is. Actually, I think that's all I've got to talk about with Games Workshop. Obviously, a lot of it is kind of stuff that I've already kind of mentioned, and just building on that. I think I've spoken about this before. Slightly revised timeline of, I think that Games Workshop as a company will continue to grow, and I think there's a good chance that we might be seeing entry into the FTSE 100 by the end of 2022 at the latest. Hopefully we'll be there before then, but that's definitely where I'm seeing the company heading. And obviously once it gets into there, it will then get another boost on top as it starts to help with the company awareness and increasing investor potential in it. So that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think. I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.